Just got off the phone with the owner of a cabin that we remodeled about a year ago and was talking to them about the rental history of the cabin. I asked him a couple questions, how it was renting, how it was working, and the reply made me so happy. Stay tuned, find out more. I'm John Suttles. I'm a realtor at Marty Loveday and Associates, and I wrote the books, The Business of Owning a Rental Cabin and the Smoky Mountain Log Cabin Owner's Manual. Guys, as I said before, I just got off the phone with an owner of a cabin and asked them what they were experiencing with their cabin. Wrote down a couple things here, and it really excited me. For one thing, I've got some skin in this game because we helped them remodel the cabin. Long story short, the house long ago had some fire damage, and somebody had tried to repair it and had done a decent job. But whenever they went in to remodel this house, we found out that there were some pretty serious problems. So we called in Hunter Construction because Hunter Construction has a lot more experience doing some of the things, and James Hunter is an amazing contractor, does a great job, knows a lot about his stuff. And we went through and he helped us remodel this cabin for this couple. And it's amazing how that with all the problems that we worked through, it took us months to get this thing working because it had so many little things wrong that needed to be fixed. But the great news is, a year later, it's working. And not only is it working, it's making them a ton of money. They're very happy with it. They actually live in the area, and so they do some of the maintenance on it. And they actually manage it. And I was talking to the man, and he was telling me how they just bought some new stuff for the cabin, and he's enjoying getting to take the stuff over. And the wife was talking about how this is like it's kind of like a dream for her because it's a little toy house that she uses, and she runs the management side of it, and she just loves doing this. And it works out great for them. It makes them some money. It gives them another form of income, and they're just thoroughly enjoying it. They did tell me, on the other hand, that there are a few drawbacks. And number one, they're running it themselves, which means that they're running it themselves. It kicks their butt every so often, especially whenever it's a turn or if they've got something going on with their family and they have to, figure out how to get that working. It can be a pain in the rear, which, if they didn't manage it, if they had somebody else managing it, then it would be fine. They wouldn't have that problem at all. But they get they want to be hands-on, and this is a perfect idea for them. The funny thing is, it took me months to talk them into this. Literally months. They had the house, they had it rented long-term, and whenever the renter had left, it was a good renter, took care of the place, but whenever the renter left, I told them, you may want to consider putting this on a nightly rental program. They balked at the idea. There's too many problems. There's too much that could go wrong. There's too many issues. I gave them the book, The Smoky Mountain Cabin Owner's Manual, and let them read it and talk them through it and walk them through it. And very, very reluctantly, as in like dragging them along because I could see that what they needed was something different than what they had. And so I was offering to either, hey, I'll sell it for you, or we'll put it on a rental program. We'll manage it for you. You can manage it yourself, however you want to do it. But the dialogue went on for months. And they fought me every step of the way. And then now, a year later, after they've had it on the market for a year, they're in love. Absolutely, positively in love. And it makes me so happy because I get to look at them and I get to see them enjoying it, and I get to see all the fun that they're having and all the money that they're making, and the value of the house has gone up considerably. And I'm so happy for them because they trusted me, and that's something that it takes. Is they were stepping out doing something new, and they put some trust in me, and that makes me feel good that I was able to, come through for them. And it's awesome. Excuse me. I asked him a couple things. Or if you could know then what you know now, what is the one thing that you would want me to be able to tell you, hey, this will work. You can do this. What's the one thing that you needed to know? And they said how well it would rent. They were worried that it was just going to sit on the market and nobody would show up. Nobody would come. Nobody would like what they put out. And it's part of that, I think, comes from a personal rejection point of view, where, you put a lot of effort, a lot of money, and a lot of work into something, and then you're hoping that people will like it. The advantage is I've been doing this for years, and I know what makes the cabins rent. I can tell you, number one, management is a huge part of it. If it's not marketed, then it's not going to rent. And so, with the reviews and things of that nature, keeping people happy and all that stuff. And we'll go into that another. But if you have a cabin in Pigeon Forge, or if you have a cabin in Sevierville, or if you have a cabin in Gatlinburg, excuse me, good grief. If you have a cabin in the Great Smoky Mountain area and you're wondering, will it rent? Or if it's not renting and you're trying to figure out how to get it to rent. Sorry, I had some camera issues there for a second. So if you have a cabin in Pigeon Forge, or if you have a cabin in Sevierville, or if you have a cabin in Gatlinburg, or anywhere in the Great Smoky Mountains, and you're worried, will this thing rent? Or if you're having a hard time getting it to rent, talk to us. We know how to make these things rent. It's not rocket science. It literally comes down to there's just a handful of things that it comes that make that big of a difference. We can help you with that. We do consulting work, and so we'll be happy to come in and sit down and talk to you. They are extremely pleased with how well it's renting. They're getting to spend some money on the cabin. I did tell them, just keep in mind, the money that comes in is not all yours. You got to put it back into the cabin. You've got to make it work. This is a business. But they're doing that. They're reinvesting the money in the cabin, and the money that they reinvest, they're getting returns off of. And you can't beat that. And it's something that they feel like they're doing. And I'm so happy for them. I will tell you a couple things that they have done. We tell people, if you want cabins to rent, make it a toy box. Okay, that's the key. If you want cabins to rent well, then you've got to look at who you want to rent the cabin to, and you've got to put toys that type of person will be interested in working with. That particular cabin was designed for families, multi-generational. And so they've got a great set of rocking chairs. They've got a nice little fire pit area. They've got, they actually don't have a hot tub, which is one of the things that most people will tell you, you have to have a hot tub to rent. But they decided, after talking to us about it, that they did not want a hot tub. And it's still renting. Why is it renting? Because they took our advice and they put a toy room in the cabin. They literally turned one room into a playroom, and it is fantastic. And people that get on that leave reviews talk constantly about how they love the toy room, the game room, the playroom, whatever it is you want to call it. And guys, it's just working for them. Or give you the numbers because they don't want to give out personal information, and I'm good with that. But I will tell you that the cabin is very much paying for itself. It is putting money in their pocket. They are being able to go buy some stuff for the cabin, and then they're also being able to spend some money on themselves. And you can't beat that. There are problems associated, just like with anything else. Whenever there's turns and it has to be turned and they've got to go clean it, well, then, they have to hire somebody to help them go clean it in a hurry. And that is happening more and more often. But one of the things that they told me about it was, the good thing is they're being able to help other people that need money, because they've got another family that goes and cleans it for them, and they're able to pay them a decent salary to go clean it, and in an afternoon the family goes and makes some money, and then they're able to spend that on their kids. It's good all around. And the old saying, a rising tide lifts all ships, or whatever the saying goes. It's true. Whenever you start in doing something and it is improving things for other people around you. So just so you know, if you want to rent a cabin, and if you want to own a rental cabin in Pigeon Forge, if you want to own a rental cabin in Sevierville, if you want to own a rental cabin in Gatlinburg, if you want to own a rental cabin in the Great Smoky Mountains, you can make money with it. You got to know how to do it, but that's where we come into play. We can help you with that. And we can either help you manage it, we can show you how to manage it, or we can put you in contact with a good management company that will manage it and make some good money for you. Guys, it just comes down to knowing what you're doing. And like I said, make it a toy box. That's what makes cabin rent. So, makes a cabin rent. That's what makes cabins rent, is make it a toy box. So, until next time, this is John Suttles, Realtor with Marty Loveday & Associates. You can check out our website. It's martyloveday.com. It's the largest independent real estate website in the area. I also wrote the books, the Smoky Mountain Cabin Owner's Manual, and I wrote the book, The Business of Owning a Rental Cabin, and we run Cardinal Custom Lawn and Outdoor, which is a property maintenance solution company. So if you've got property maintenance needs, we can do everything from... we can do everything for cabins. So, including building them. Like I said, we've worked with Hunter Construction, and they can build the stuff for us. So we've got all kinds of stuff that we can do. So, contact us below. We'll put a link in the description to all of those websites. And if you need help, let us know. This is John Suttles. Until next time, have a good day.